order to establish facts and reach new conclusions. When we are talking about a scientific investigation, it represents a scientific value. So research is defined as the creation of a new knowledge by using existing knowledge in a new or creative way so that we can develop a new concept, methodology, or understanding. When we are talking about research, research is I mean to say main purpose of research is to inform action, gather evidence for theories, and contribute to developing knowledge in a defined field of study. And we know very well that decision making is the most important factor for every organization. So when we are talking about decision making, there are many options are open in the hands of the promoter, in the hands of the researcher, in the hands of the entrepreneur, in the hands of the scientist. Sure, whether it will be alternative things are affecting decision making, or uncertainty factors are influencing decision making, or high risk consequences are there in context to complexity and interpersonal issues. These are the factors. Actually, we are very much inside the society to understand all those things, because you see there are internal factors like resources, technology, organization, I mean to say trade unions, cash flow, manpower. These are the internal factors. When you are talking about external factors, you see all government, all individuals, all society, they are facing the government policies, political factors, socio-economic factors, legal framework, geographic and cultural factors. So these are the external factors beyond our control. And apart from that, we have quantitative as well as qualitative factors. When we are talking about quantitative factors, time is a quantitative factor. Resource is also a quantitative factor. And cost factor is also quantitative. And when we are talking about qualitative factors, it is about the sense of belongings of employees, risks of technological changes, and cohesiveness. These are the feelings. These are the, I mean to say, the factors influencing, motivating a person to work effectively or not effectively. Apart from that, I told you decision-making process influenced by uncertainty factors that cannot be predicted. So with this, I am going to tell you the key characteristics of quantitative research. So when we are talking about quantitative research, I told you it is based on numerical data, deals with data, express all those things numerically, and it has got objectivity. Objectivity is kind of like a standard instruments and procedures required to attain the aims of neutrality. And when we are talking about the general judgeability, it seeks a conclusion application to a larger population, a general population. And the characteristics of quantitative research is based on statistical analysis. I mean to say mean, median. Nowadays, many softwares you will be finding like and hypothesis testing can be taken. So these are the statistical analysis along with the different tools. I mean to say softwares are available, SPSS and other softwares. Apart from that, the quantitative research is very much based on close-ended questions. I mean to say the quantitative research used predefined response of options for structure and standardized data collection. And when to use quantitative and qualitative research, we must be knowing. So when we are talking about qualitative research, I told you there are basically five aims are there, characteristics are there. There we can apply the quantitative research, like measuring the objective, prioritizing the objective, aiming generalization, and testing hypothesis, emphasizing efficiency and replicability, and employing statistical tools. These are the, I mean to say, the quantitative aspect. And when we are going to use the qualitative, then qualitative research is very much for exploring complex phenomena. because our society is a very complex kind of like phenomena. You see, we have many divisions are there, we have many labels are there, we have many requirements are there, we have many products, and the economic and socio-economic conditions differ from one place to other place. And we have to emphasize the when we have to emphasize the subject and the context, we have to take the help of the qualitative research, and we have to adopt qualitative research when the flexibility of demanding of any product, any services, any new things we are going to adopt. So at that time, we have to take the help of qualitative research. Apart from that, when we are utilizing small size of sample, say like one-to-one interview, like bibliographic studies, like other qualitative research tools, at that time we take small size of sample. When a small size of sample we are taking, at that time qualitative research is more appropriate. And qualitative research is benefiting from researcher presence. I mean to say, a researcher has to go to the field only, because you see, it is a kind of like face-to-face interaction. It is a kind of thing. A researcher has to go to the field, to the site, to see the situation. So in that case, qualitative research will be highly, I mean to say, required. And when we both qualitative and quantitative research will be mixed, then a mixed method research will be taken place. So you know very well, nowadays many scholars, many researchers, when they are writing their PhD thesis or writing a paper, they usually they adopt two kind of methods. One is qualitative as well as quantitative. When both the methods are going to be merged, then only a mixed method would be created. So mixed method designing is a procedure for collecting, analyzing both research materials into a single platform. So you see, when we are using mixed method, we must be identifying the knowledge gap, research gap, and what action we must take. We must opening up our idea, and then only we have to draw the conclusion with the help of knowledge gap, research gap. Where is the gap is laid? Without understanding the gap, it is very difficult to understand the action. Action could be taken in form of analysis, different type of analysis. And when we are talking about writing a paper, we must follow the rule of IMRAD. IMRAD is introduction, method, results, and discussions. And it is a kind of like a developing how you are going to develop a manuscript. Because developing a manuscript is always kind of when you have engaged yourself for mixed method for studying your research, I mean to say gap. At that time, you have to understand the research area very prominently. You must have sufficient control and idea about that. And literature search must be taken place. And you must select target sources, journals, books, or any kind of website or sources. And you have to prepare the skeletal structure of the manuscript. Then drafting will be taken place. Then review and editing will be taken place. Then finalization, then pre-submission, then submission. And with this, I have to tell you, when you are going to make the prepare your research title, you have to identify the potential topics, because brainstorming and talk with the experts will I mean to say your maybe your teacher, maybe your professor, maybe your seniors. If at all you will be asking about, you will be interacting about the potential research topics, certainly the brainstorming will be there, and that will help you to finalize the topic. Then you have to go for literature review, as I told you, because literature review always gives you the selective theory to test and identify the problems. I mean to say, whatever the things have been done earlier, this will help you to enrich your knowledge. Then you have to write paper. I told you this qualitative and quantitative. The initial stage is title. You see, there are three kind of titles. When we are talking about title must be expressive one. It should represent your entire theme, your idea, your paper, your project, whatever it may be. That must be representing the entire theme. And apart from that, you will go for abstract. You know very well, abstract contains the background, aims, methods, the results, and conclusion, which will be finalized after completion of your paper. But initially, when you are writing abstract, that may be tentative. But when you will complete the paper, then you have to revise your abstract. After abstract, the introduction will be taken place. Always remember, introduction is the general part of your paper. And you have to always try to narrow down your topic, your objective, so that your accordingly you have to write your introduction, because it is the knowledge, it is the aim of your paper. You are going to open with the subjects. And then after that, if actually you have some literature review, after introduction, you have to put some literature review. Then you have to write the objectives of your paper. Then you will land with methods. Methods provide specific details, evidence of your, I mean to say, action, what you have performed. That gives you evidence. And then slowly you will land at results. You have to summarize the results of your experiments and what you have done. You remember always, when you are writing results, you have to provide different graphs, different tables, so that it will support to your result. And you have to state the findings here. Then discussion will be taken place. In this place, you have to discuss the results available through your research, and the experiment and other things must be written very prominently. Then you have to go for conclusion. You know very well, conclusion is your major findings, and their importance to the society you have to write down here. How it will be helpful for further studies, and how it will be helpful to the society, that you have to write yourself. And references, because you have to give credit, appropriate credit to the researcher, those have conducted the original study, and you have followed them. You have taken their statement, you have taken their idea. So in that case, you have to do it. And you have to study the problems, because you see, unless until the problems are going to be identified by you properly, it is not possible to take up a paper. I am giving you a very small example over here. That is a problem. Most of the farmers in a particular province are not adopting new technology. Why? It is a problem. It is a research problem. And when the problem comes, how the problems could be converted into question. Are farmers unable to adapt to new technologies because of financial resources are limited? You have taken financial resources because your assumption. This assumption can be converted into hypothesis. Hypothesis is a tentative assumption. The farmers in the province are unable to adapt to new technology because of financial resources are limited. Then objective, to describe how, you see, when problem could be, I mean to say, locate properly, then it will be easier for you to describe the objective. The objective of your paper is to describe how financial resources influence farmers when decided whether to adopt a new technology. So these are the research gap, possible research gaps. Gaps may be in population, gaps may be in analysis, gaps may be in implications, gaps may be in methods, gaps may be in concepts, gaps may be in perspectives, gaps may be in theory, gaps in methodology also. So these are the possible gaps when you are studying different literature, different, I mean to say, journals, different books, different websites. So these are the possible areas where you can locate the research gap. So research gap is nothing, but it is an undiscovered research area which any researcher may find out by conducting rigorous review of the existing literature. So you know very well when I told you you must, after getting the literature, I mean to say research gap, you must formulate the research question. Research question, you have to narrow down the research question. For example, you are writing a paper on media violence. So media violence means you have to narrow down this media violence to this specific area. Are teens affected by media, violent media? Again, you narrow down. Is there any evidence that violent video games increase violence in teens? So if actually you will narrow down the questions, then only your research will be highly effective. And there are three types of titles. Always remember, one is declarative, one is descriptive, one is interrogative. These are the three types of titles for your paper. Always you remember, declarative is the state of main conclusion, where you have concluded your paper, you have given a suggestion, you have given a conclusive statement. That can be your, I mean to say, topic of your paper. For example, mixed strains of probiotics improve antibiotic associated diarrhea. It is your findings. So you can take this as your topic. This is a declarative topic. What is descriptive? Descriptive means describe the subject. Effect of mixed strains of probiotic on antibiotic associated diarrhea. You have described it through your paper. Interrogative, use a question mark on for the subject. Do mixed strains of probiotic improve antibiotic associated diarrhea? So in that case, you have got three options. You always follow for title the three options. And in my concluding remarks, I'll be happy to share with you that you focus on the research topic, looking for most reliable sources of information, outline the main research ideas for each chapter or part, and each chapter or part means introduction, literature review, like this. And draft first part of your research paper, and you try to bring a abstract and introduction, because abstract will be always takes a changeable shape, because unless until you are going to conclude your paper, it is difficult to write abstract. But you have to develop side by side and develop the strong body of your research paper and conclude a research paper logically without giving any new information on the topic. Logically, you have to give the paper must be concluded and cite all used information sources properly. People, what scholars are doing, most of the scholars, they are writing references only, but references must be cited inside the text of your paper, and revise the paper if required before submission. You rethink, retype, and you always try to use short and concise sentences and write short paragraphs and cite your every single sources in the text. So thank you very much for giving me this opportunity, and I extend my thanks to Eudoxia Research University for giving me this opportunity to share my views. I must extend my thanks to the listeners, the scholars, the professors, the researchers, those have been connected through this platform globally. And thank you very much. Namaste from India.